The doors to the Viridian Tea House are open once more. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I can't complain. Before I begin, I do want to give a shout out to the folks at the Paris Street Market. They have two locations, one in Aspen Grove and one in Park Meadows. Thank you so much. This past Saturday was the Paris Evening Street Market, and thoroughly had a good time. It was nice. It was, all the lights were out and lots of vintage and antique items, and met a lot of people, so thank you. Oh, and if you're going to be in the Littleton area this Saturday, I will be there at the regular Paris Street Market. I think the hours are from 8 till 2, 8 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. So once again, much thanks to the Paris Street Market folks, and I look forward to seeing you again this coming Saturday. Right, well, I think today is going to be British Day because I didn't plan this, but a lot of what I'm going to be talking about is in the UK. So without further ado, let's begin. So the first book I want to review, well, actually, I do want to say both books that I'm reviewing today are from the Conrad Press in the UK. For those of you who don't know, I've been kind of sort of working with them in terms of reviewing and just getting to know some of the authors and the publisher as well. Hello, James. And I just want to tell you guys, the Conrad Press, thank you. I am truly, truly in your debt. I have received some wonderful books, and I will be reading all of them. Absolutely all of them. So thank you again for sending me copies of your books. I truly do appreciate it. So the first book I want to talk about is a little slim novel, and yet it was one of the most beautiful books I'd ever read. It is called The Ice Floe Girl by Gregory Martin. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And the back of it is such. The Ice Floe Girl is a delightful, beautifully written, and wonderfully observed true story about a 19-year-old boy who meets an innocent, angelic Swedish au pair, and then hitchhikes across Europe to join her in Sweden, where she lives at the top of a forbidding villa. She proceeds to take him along with her as an unwitting spectator to her mysterious life in Copenhagen, Stockholm, and Helsinki. If good writing is about capturing an inexpressible paradox in words, here it is. This account of an ephemeral beauty presents in precise photographic details a remarkable true tale of people and places, retrieves eternally meaningful passing moments that would otherwise have been lost forever, and fixes them to the banner of eternal love. The Ice Floe Girl is an unforgettable, enigmatic quest stretching from a North London suburb to a small wooden town on the shores of the Baltic. This truly was a beautiful read. Normally, when there are phrases or paragraphs that grab my attention, I'm reaching for a pencil or a pen. I didn't underline anything in this book, but there's one line I wanted to read because it was just beautiful. Where was it? Oh, here we go. Yeah, turn right to it. It was a mouth men dream of. It was the mouth of obscenity, made for a salacious fantasy, a mouth that could launch 1,000 waves on a wine-dark sea, a mouth from which I looked away, not wanting to stare and give my thoughts away. When I read that, I literally felt this jolt, this electric current just kind of run through me. This was a beautifully written book. Beautiful. And I had to stop a couple of times and tell myself, oh yeah, this is a true story. This really is true. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. And Mr. Martin, thank you so much for sending a copy of your book to me. I just enjoyed the entire experience. I know very little about the Scandinavian countries, However, I did have a friend, I guess we're still friends now, but it's been years. I did have a pen pal in Finland, and she and I wrote back and forth for years, and she exposed me to a part of the world that I didn't know anything about. But listening to the music, seeing photographs she would send me, even photographs of her, very fey, and like, if I didn't believe in the Fae then, I believed in the Fae once I met her. So Finland and Norway and Sweden really didn't know too much about. But in reading The Ice Flow Girl, I felt that I was right there with the young man. And just seeing this other world, this part of the earth that's not part of the earth. But anyway, I could go on and on, but it was truly a beautiful work to read. And I did like the ending. I was like, oh, well, I kind of want to know what she was doing with those other girls. But anyway, so for The Ice Flow Girl, published by the Conrad Press, written by Gregory, I give it Viridian Tea Houses, if I can get my notes together, 5 pots of tea for an excellent book. This is actually one of those books where I would like to buy like 10 copies and send them to friends and say, look, just read it. If you don't like it, that's fine. But more people need to read this book. And actually, I found it kind of strange that when I looked on Goodreads, because I have a Goodreads account and I did my reading challenge and all that kind of stuff, but nobody reviewed this book. And I thought, wow, this is a book that I think more people need to read, sincerely. So, but once again, thank you so much. This was a wonderful, delightful read. How many times can I say delightful? But just another thing too, the sentence structure. This author is well written. And actually, I was looking on the back. He is a playwright with the Royal Court in the Comédie Française, published by Penguin, Methuen, and Oberon. And he also has another book, A Working Class Alternative to Labor is in the House of Commons Library. So I will definitely be trying to look up more of his works, but thank you again. This is excellent book. So the next book I'd like to review, also from the Conrad Press, deals with chess. And I had been talking about wanting to read this book ever since I found out about this publishing house and just kind of reading their catalog. It is The Mating Game. And this was written by Jovanka Huska and James Essinger, who is the publisher for the Conrad Press. And Jovanka, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. If not, I do apologize. I really do apologize. But let me read the back of it for you. Meet Ivana, call me Vanny, Jones, a sexy, beautiful, warm-hearted professional chess player. She has a problem. She's only attracted to guys who can beat her. So what's she to do when a chess amateur, the Russian billionaire Boris Bogolyubov, did I say that right, proposes marriage? Not only that, but as Vanny tries to achieve her lifelong dream of becoming a chess grandmaster, she develops a crush on Norwegian sex god Sven, while also falling for a stunning and adoring Frenchwoman. Meanwhile, Vanny's hoping a revolutionary new drug treatment will save her best friend Charlotte, or Lottie's, life. Set in London, Monaco, Budapest, Helsinki, Odessa, New York, and Leicester, this sparkily written, passionate, emotional, and entertaining novel will rock your boat, even if you've never shouted checkmate. So let me just say for the record that I used to be fascinated with chess. I used to play against the computer on my phone and also against people. But I never let it really progress, and it just kind of died off and other interests took its place. After reading this book, my interest has come back triple fold. And I actually have a chess app on my phone now, and I've played the computer at a very, very, very beginner level. I actually won a couple of times. I'm very proud of that. But this book not only reignited my love for chess, it also gave me a boost as to my creative life. What I mean by is this. Chess is a world I know very little about. I know that there are chess champions and grandmasters and all that kind of stuff. But it didn't dawn on me until reading this book that there are actually professional chess players, that that's their job, and what a job it is. So reading about Vanny and her life and the ups and downs and the money won and all the places that she would travel to for tournaments, it gave me this boost about my own life in terms of owning a tea company, being a certified tea specialist, being a published author, being a violin student, all of the above. Because it made me realize that yes, there are 9 to 5 jobs out there and people do have them, but then there are also people who their job is to play chess or to make tea and go to tea festivals or to be a professional author and to do book tours. But after reading this book, I just got like this shot of vitamin B12 and I was like, what am I doing? Oh my gosh, I can be doing this and this, this and this. So needless to say, I enjoyed the book, but it was also a great source of motivation for me. So I'm truly grateful for that. Thank you. The sex scenes, let's just cut to the chase. The sex scenes were really good and they were a part of the story. And yet, if you took it out, it would still be a fantastic story. I love Vanny. I love Jasmine was my favorite, Jazz. And I love the fact how her life ended up toward the end. But, and I also liked the interactions that Vanny had with her love interests. There was Tom, the friends with benefits, and then Hélène, the French woman. But anyway, so the mating game, published through the Conrad Press, gets Viridian Tea House's 4 pots of tea. Now, the reason why I gave it 4, 2 specific things. One, I noticed that at the beginning, the verb tense would shift a lot, and that actually kind of messed me up a little bit. I was like, wait, so we're in the present, but then we're going to switch to the past, but then the present again. I'm not really sure why this was happening, but it didn't stop me from reading. It just kind of made me go, okay. The other thing was this, and I don't know if this was deliberate, but I kind of figured out maybe what happened was in terms of the sex scenes. Well done, well written, thoroughly enjoyed reading them. Yet I noticed that the heterosexual love scenes were a little bit more in detail than the scenes between Vanny and Hélène. And I wondered about that. I thought, well, I mean, it's just as important, the relationship that Vanny has with Hélène as she has with Tom and tried to with Sven and later Boris. But then I was talking about the book with a friend of mine, and she said, well, maybe it was the interactions between Hélène and Vanny was more emotional. And so maybe the authors were trying to focus on that aspect more than the touchy-feely. And I thought, oh, well, maybe that's it. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I really would have liked a little bit more description of their interaction. I mean, yes, there was a lot of kissing and touching and sighing and all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted a little bit more. But personal preference, not knocking the book, saying, you know, oh my God, this was just trash or whatever. No, I enjoyed it. Those two thoughts of mine just deterred me a little bit, like I said, but it didn't stop me from reading the book. And I devoured this book, and I was telling everybody about it. I was like, you need to read this book. This was amazing. And also, too, like I said, the surprise in motivating me as to my passion for tea and my passion for books. So, again, thoroughly enjoyed reading it, and it got me back into chess. In fact, my boyfriend was thinking about buying a chess set for us and a special table to put in the living room and so on. So I hope we do end up getting that. So thank you again. Thank you. So before I get to the tea part, well, actually, this is the tea part, but not the actual drinking. So at the Paris Street Evening Market, there was a booth to the left of me, a nice woman, and she sold a lot of antiques and vintage items. Well, my eyes kept going toward this lovely teapot. I mean, isn't it just gorgeous? And I ended up getting it for $15. She said 10. I said, no, 15. This is worth a lot more. Well, knowing me, I did a little bit more research and I wrote some notes down. So about this teapot, this is known as a blue willow from James Sadler. So the company Sadler, James Sadler, was founded in 1882, and it is one of the finest ceramic companies, which sadly enough in 2000 it was taken over by Churchill China. But during the time that James Sadler was active, it was one of the better ceramics companies. I mean, like, look at that detail. Isn't that just phenomenal? Look at that. So I did some, and looking at some websites regarding ceramics and pottery and vintage, I discovered that this particular one, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's embossed on the bottom of the teapot, and it says Sadler, England. So that particular symbol right there, it shows that this was circa 1930s, maybe 1937. There were different stamps that were for different periods of the ceramic company's life. But this particular one, if I read it correctly, was during the 1930s up to 1950s, 40s or 50s. I forgot to write that part down, but yes. So if you happen to see this kind of pattern and you look on the bottom and it says Sadler, grab it. But yeah, this is, like I said, a Sadler Blue Willow. And my boyfriend and I actually used it yesterday. I washed it out and served a proper afternoon tea, and it was quite good. I was like, this is nice. I can see why with afternoon tea, a lot of people take it seriously. And I mean, especially when you have such a beautiful teapot like this. So anyway, thank you to James Sadler, now Churchill China. So now getting into the drinking tea part. So this is a blend that I made some time ago, and I just never got around to releasing it. This is tea of the synthetic, and I don't know if you can see it, but it is one of my green tea blends, and the ingredients are green tea, which I use sencha tea, which is a kind of, it's a Japanese green tea, dried lime peel, jasmine, and lemon balm. And this is to correspond with my cyberpunk book, Maven, published through Pro Se Productions. So I'll just read the back of it for you. Reject the synthetic, a green liquid that cures all, a reality created, a new world with no questions, a city that gives dreams and promises everything, a scent of death among crumbling buildings, hope in the form of a woman with no memory. Welcome to the end of the world, or a new beginning. Welcome to Maven. So this is the first book in the series. It's only going to be 2 books, and I've not written the second book yet because I'm busy with Jackie Verona. Sorry. But this is the tea, the accompanying tea for Maven. And here we go. You know, I've let this tea sit for quite some time, and I am getting immediately the sencha with the lemon balm, which is kind of a minty taste. The jasmine and the lime peel are toward the back. It's funny how some ingredients come right up to the front and some stay in the back and go, no, 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 you guys can just be, I'll just be back here. But I am curious to know. I'm wondering, as the temperature cools, if the jasmine and the lime peel are going to present themselves more and the lemon balm and the green tea will go to the back. But this is a great cup of green tea. That is lovely. So once again, my new blend is called Tea of the Synthetic. It is a green tea blend, and it is the accompanying tea blend for my cyberpunk novel, Maven, once again, published through Prose Productions. Thank you. And once this video has been uploaded, you can buy bags of Tea of the Synthetic. And I think I only have one copy of Maven left, but you can get these items through my Etsy store, which as always, I'll put the link there. So I think that's it for today. But before I say au bientôt, let's do a nice little tea meditation. So grab your mug with your tea of your choice. Find yourself in a comfortable position, and you know the drill, but for those of you who are new, one, hello. Two, just do 2 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Close your eyes, or you can softly focus on an object and just focus on your breathing. And then once we're done, we'll take another deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and then we'll have a nice cup of tea to finish. So without further ado, let's begin. And now to bring this meditation to an end, one last deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Slowly open your eyes or focus and have a nice sip of your tea. Now I'm tasting the lime peel. What a beautiful, beautiful tea blend. So that's it for this video for Viridian Tea House. As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to review my silliness. And much thanks again to the Conrad Press in the UK. I look forward to reading many more of your books, maybe all of them. That might be a personal goal of mine, to read all of your books. And also to my publisher, Pro Se Productions, for putting out my book Maven along with all of my other books. Much thank you. And to the ghost of James Sadler for creating this beautiful blue willow teapot. So until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Raise your teacup or your teapot high, and I'll see you soon. Bye.